Good morning, y'all. Welcome to my live stream, Transforming Your Physical Health Live, where I answer your health and fitness related questions, and I talk about health and fitness in the news, or even sometimes just stuff that honestly comes um, to the top of my head. And today is one of those things that came to the top of my head. Actually came to my head last night. Um, Liver. So maybe it sounds random, but every now and then I like to go buy some chicken liver or liver and eat that. So we had some yesterday for on Christmas. It was fried. It was, it's like honestly, it tends to be the best way to eat it. But I mean, I don't eat that a lot at all. But liver is one of those things. If you've had it before, obviously if you're probably vegetarian or vegan, you don't eat it. But liver is one of those things that people either seem to really love it or they seem to really hate it. And growing up, I was one of those ones. I don't know. It's like maybe I think when I was a kid, I thought it was weird. I would eat it. I didn't care for it a lot, but when you ate it with onions, like liver and onions, especially beef liver and onions, then it was kind of like tolerable, especially because we could put some ketchup on the side and dip it in ketchup, you know. And if I'm grossing you out talking about this stuff, then hey, sorry. But anyhow, gonna rep my making shirt, right? I shout out to Making Magazine. I contribute to them, by the way. If you're ever in Macon, Georgia, go to your nearby store, pick up your copy of Making Magazine. Shout out to Susanna. Um, you know, just her and the team are just really good people. I've been writing for them for a while, health and fitness articles. But anyway, that said, but yeah, liver. Um, as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate the taste more. But even more than that, the whole reason I'm talking about this is because of the extraordinary health benefits. I did not know growing up that liver was so good for you. It's so high in nutrients. Matter of fact, liver is one of those things, especially beef liver, that you don't necessarily want to eat all the time because it's so high in certain nutrients that, like especially vitamin A, that it could cause like toxicity. That means that this is higher levels than you need to, and it could actually be detrimental. But anyway, eating liver occasionally is apparently a very, very good thing to do. It's a very wise thing to do. So let me tell you some things in case you didn't know. Since we had chicken liver yesterday, I'm a read for you some things I got from this article. U.S. Wellness Meats is and I'm not like I'm not like a sponsor. I mean, they're not sponsoring me or anything like that. I just know of them because somebody told me about them. So But anyway, this article is called "Chicken Liver Nutrition Facts." Is chicken liver good for you? Um, let's see. Uh, It is. It's relatively cheap, tasty when prepared by the right hands, and it's absolutely packed with nutrients, including iron, vitamin B12, and folate. So we know that liver is like a filter for the body. It kind of like filters the blood and stuff like that. Um, but it's but so sometimes the thought is like, well, why would I eat chicken liver, especially depending on where it comes from, because it could be very highly toxic and stuff like that. But it actually doesn't quite work that way. Everything I've learned kind of like suggests that it's not filled with toxins. But anyway, check it out. Chicken liver is nutrient rich, packed with fatty acids, protein, vitamins, and minerals. So vitamin A, like 288% of daily value, got a little vitamin C, a little vitamin E, a little thiamine, 19%, riboflavin, 136%, niacin, 70%, vitamin B 42%, folate 140%, vitamin B12 352%, pantothenic acid 83%, choline 327 milligrams, beta beta betaine. I don't know how you say that. Then it has minerals like calcium, iron 72%, magnesium, phosphorus 44%, potassium, sodium, zinc 27%, copper 27%, manganese 19%, and selenium 126%. Selenium is one of those minerals that I've heard our diets tend to be quite lacking in, and it actually tends to cause a decent amount of health problems. So liver just happens to be chicken liver in particular happens to be pretty high in that. Um, so what does it say? Is chicken liver healthy? Absolutely. When eaten in moderation as part of a balanced diet and sourced from healthy farms, which is important. Chicken liver is deeply nutritious, acting as a fantastic source of protein, various vitamins, including B12 and minerals such as selenium. So, um, so chicken liver is almost like taking like a multivitamin, especially when it comes to vitamin A, vitamin B12, selenium, vitamin D. Did it mention vitamin D up here? Actually, it didn't mention it whenever I was reading out all those supplements. Um, but anyhow, of course, vitamin B12 supports red blood cells, slows anemia. Tons of vitamin A, which is very good for eyesight. Folate that promotes fertility and helps protect the developing baby. Um, selenium, which supports the thyroid. It's good overall for the immune system. High in phosphorus, which helps keep teeth and bones healthy. Um, so yeah. Anyhow, you you should eat liver in moderation if you eat it because again because some of the vitamins, especially vitamin A, it can and also copper, it can be toxic levels. But liver is very good for you. It's there are ways that liver and even other organ meats are a lot better for you or healthier for you rather than even organ. I mean, not organ meats, but muscle meats like the typical meats that we eat: chicken legs, breasts, steaks, et cetera, et cetera. Like those are high in protein and they have B12, but they don't tend to be high in a lot of the other nutrients that organ meats like livers are. So I know you may not necessarily care for them, but like it might be a good idea to consider eating chicken liver sometimes. And I'm thinking about like maybe doing like because and thankfully one of my kids actually loves them. My oldest child actually loves chicken liver. It's very interesting. She's a very interesting child. It's like I've never known anybody to actually love liver at a young age like that. But anyhow, I'm trying to see how to like maybe incorporate liver maybe like once I don't know, maybe even once a month or something like that. Because here's the thing, in our society, and this makes sense to me. In our society, we don't typically eat stuff like this, but the further back you go, you see that people will eat more of liver and even other organ meats like sweet breads, which I think might be pancreas and stuff. And I know it might sound a little weird to me as far as like me saying this, but it wouldn't have if you lived, maybe even 100 years ago or more, and depending on what society you kind of come from. But anyway, people even they would eat organ meats more, and to go even further, they would these would be the prized meats, like delicacies. These would be kind of like considered like the best ones that everybody wouldn't get to get. you know, but fast forward to these days, if we eat meat, then we tend to eat more of just like the muscle meats and whatnot. Um, and so it's only because just the way that we look at things now that we think that eating organ meat is weird. Um, but it's not at all. As a matter of fact, I've even heard that like the nature shows that we watch with like the lions, catching wildebeest and stuff like that, or wolves catching animals and stuff. A lot of times, I've heard that that wild animals will go for the liver of an animal among the first thing. They know they they go for the liver as like, gotta have that liver. Like I think they inherently know themselves that it's better, and perhaps to them it's tastier or whatever, or more filling or whatever. But they tend to go for liver first. And speaking of liver, another thing that I started to do is give my kids cod liver oil. I started doing that on a regular basis this year, 2024. And cod liver oil was not one of those things that I grew up consuming. It was one of those things that I think my parents grew up consuming. But they did let us taste it a couple of times. And I remember it was just a very thick, very fishy liquid. Um and they were giving that stuff for the health benefits. I always kind of wonder what was the PSA, the public service announcement, that had all of these grandmothers giving their kids cod liver oil. What was it? But cod liver oil actually is quite beneficial. Now, I'm not telling you you need to do cod liver oil per se. Do your own research. I'm just saying this is what I give my kids, because again, this liver that comes from this oil that comes from the liver of the codfish is it also is very high in vitamins A, and vitamin D. And keep in mind this: vitamin D, you tend not to be able to get vitamin D much from foods, not naturally. People will put it in milk. Now I don't do a whole lot of milk. I do add a little bit of milk to my coffee, a little bit, because we don't do all the processed powder creamers and stuff. I've done a couple of plant-based creamers. But the one that we've done most recently, and I won't mention the name of it now, it's okay. It's a little thin for me. But there's another creamer that I want to say Chobani used to make. It was like plant-based creamer, not non-dairy, I say. And it was very good, but then they stopped making it. So it's like, oh well, but we'll use a little bit of milk or something, like half and half or evaporated milk, so that we don't use all that fake stuff. Why was I even mentioning dairy? But yeah, so people will sometimes add vitamin D to milk. Often it is in milk, but we don't tend to. It's not naturally in milk, but liver, like cod liver oil and stuff, has vitamin D naturally. Okay. And vitamin D, by the way, is one of the most important vitamins that you can make sure that that you should make sure that you get in. With the sun being the main source, it's very important for your immune system. It's very important for like the way that your cells in your body operate and divide and all that kind of stuff. It helps to make sure that that happens the right way. But so cod liver oil is very good and high in that. Vitamin D, vitamin A, helps to reduce inflammation. Could help to reduce the blood pressure. Um, let's see. It can help to improve bone health by way of the vitamin D, because vitamin D is one of those nutrients. It's like vitamin D and calcium kind of work hand in hand, as far as like your bone health. May reduce joint pain and reduce rheumatoid arthritis symptoms. May support eye health because of vitamin A. Um, Reduce heart disease risk, improve symptoms of anxiety and depression. May help heal stomach and gut ulcers. Um, and so on. I'm going to link to these articles for you because I'm not on here just to read every bit of stuff to you. Um, but anyhow, liver. You Now, if you're somebody who is vegan or vegetarian, I understand you may not consume anything like this. Maybe vegetarians might do something like cod liver oil. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I'm saying all that to say, if that's not you, you might want to consider organ meats like liver sometimes. Sometimes, even if it's just a little bit. One thing I see that people do is they may like grind up the liver, put it inside of burgers and stuff like that, because that's a way that you can consume it without, you know, um, without just getting the full taste. Ooh, pan fried alongside onions and mushrooms. I'm gonna do that soon for sure. I'm gonna do that soon. That sounds really good. Or scrambled eggs and liver. This says that here. But consider it. It's one of those foods that we've been sleeping on. For those of you who eat meat, it's one of the foods you've been sleeping on that really is more nutritious than muscle meat. And so again, you don't want to eat it all the time, but you want to add it in sometimes because it's a very, very valuable um meat. And yeah, it tastes a little strong and whatnot, but apparently, you and this is what we typically do, soak it in milk. Or I think you can even soak it in like um lemon juice and then rinse it, then season it, and then pan fry it, or you know, you can deep fry it like we did. I wouldn't encourage that a whole lot. But anyhow, don't sleep on liver, y'all. Don't sleep on liver. Let me know. Do you eat liver? Let me know. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and get to everything else I got going on. Y'all take care.